What is good, beautiful people? I'm your host, Kinglionoflocs, and I wanted to do something a little bit different for this video. As you guys can see, we're doing the comparing and contrasting to OG Trigun to the new generation Trigun that just came out. At the time of this recording, the new episode had just dropped, and so I saw it and I wanted to compare it. Mainly because I've watched OG Trigun, and for those that you guys know, Trigun is like one of my, or if is my top favorite anime. It goes from Naruto to Trigun, and it's because of just how the character is Vash the Stampede. If you guys have seen Trigun, know the story of Trigun. It starts off as the humanoid typhoon Vash the Stampede, living in a Westerner's time. They have Western technology like cowboys and Indians, but with a little bit of futuristic technology, because they are what's left of the human race that was in a spaceship trying to find another planet to inhabit. Some stuff happened in the anime. Don't want to really ruin too much of it. I think you guys should watch it, or at least read the manga to it. I will say that while I do like the anime Trigun, the manga's ending is way better. I will definitely say that. But without further ado, I wanted to just get into my takes of the old one compared to the new one. I've seen the first one, and so far the first episode has came out. I believe I mentioned that before, so this is not my initial take of the whole anime as a whole. This is just comparing the first episode from the new one with the old one. I have already saw the new one that just came out, and just to refresh my memory, I watched the old episode and I just came up with some points to talk about. So without further ado, I wanted to get my nitpicks out the way of it. Just things that I thought was like, my things that I didn't like, my gripes about it. So first thing off the bat is how Vash looks. So OG Vash the Stampede was described as a very tall man, very slender man, with a very slender man with a uptight hair and a big ass gun, or a big gun. And when you see him in the first one, you realize that, okay, yeah, this guy is very tall. He is very tall. He has a Tekken Paul Phoenix haircut. It's straight up in the air, and he has a big gun. He has buckles on his arm and a red trench coat. That's OG Vash the Stampede look. I like OG Vash the Stampede look. The new generation of him, he looks more like MGK mixed with Cyberpunk. I'm not a big fan of it. His hair isn't stick up, it's more combed to the side, and he has a little bit of shaved on the side of it. And his fake arm, spoilers for those that watched the OG one and are just now watching it, his fake arm is very noticeably fake. Like they mentioned it that it's part of the lost technology, which I didn't too much have a problem with that, because his jacket is from the same spaceship. Come to find out in on the new one that his jacket is part of the old space station that he was a part of. So I guess that kind of makes sense while he has all that technology on him, just like showcasing it. I liked it better in the old one, because for those that watched the old Trigun, you didn't know that Vash's arm wasn't real until like the 5th episode, when he had to defend himself and he didn't have his actual gun. He used his prosthetic arm to turn into a little bit of a shotgun, and then he upgraded it. Again, I like the old look better. I definitely liked how he looked in the old one. His design isn't the only other one I didn't like. I gotta get used to it just being in my face now. But his design wasn't the only design I had a bit of a gripe with. Meryl's design, I didn't too much have a problem with it. I see that with her design is more so how the anime just looks, with it being in CGI, which also I didn't have an issue with CGI. It was actually pretty good. I didn't have too much of a problem with it. I like the CGI on it. For CGI, it looks really, really good. I will definitely say that. With like, we have other animes that are CGI done really bad, like Berserk. I'm looking at you, Berserk. the CGI was not good in Berserk, but in this one, Trigun, it is really good. I do like that. But Meryl's design, I'm not a big fan of for how she originally looked for it. It's not a big gripe. It's just like I gotta get used to it. Knives look, which if those that don't know, which they do explain it in the new version. I do appreciate that. They kind of sped you up a little bit in a good way. They tell you like the important parts of the anime, like who are the key players of this anime, and they let you know that Knives is Vash's brother sooner than you would expect. You know, I didn't really have an issue with that. But Knives, I don't like Knives' look. I don't like it at all. He has on a, I don't know what it's from, but I'm thinking of I don't think it's a Pokemon, but there's this image of a character that has a hood and it's like layered like an earthworm. I don't know where it's from and it's gonna bother me. If I do find it when I edited this out, I'll let you guys know. If not, just imagine like, I'll probably find a picture of Knives, what he looks like now, but like imagine a worm suit that just has multiple layers on, like a big ass coat. I'm going to try and figure out what this image in my head is like from and try and get it to you guys, but if not, it just threw me off. I didn't like it at all. And then Vash's gun, I did not like that his gun looks like Knives' gun. For those that don't know, Knives created guns for him and Vash. There's a reason for it. I'm not going to explain it. You guys watch the show, it'll tell you why. But he gave him a special gun that's a light version of his gun. It's kind of like Ebony and Ivory for the Devil May Cry. But in this one, it looks like Vash's gun looks like Knives' gun, or it's just a regular black gun. I didn't too much like that. I like the silver or white tint to his gun, especially since it helped me, you know, you could see that his gun and then Knives' gun are like polar opposite. Knives' gun was black, his was white or silver. Another nitpick I didn't like of the show, excuse me, they got rid of Millie. They got rid of Millie. I completely forgot her name for a quick second there. They did get rid of Millie, which for those that didn't know, the show is Vash and Vash's adventures with Millie and Meryl. They are looking for, in the OG one, Millie and Meryl, try and say that 10 times fast. Millie and Meryl are looking for Vash because they are a part of an insurance broker of this world. Because Vash is known as the humanoid typhoon, wherever he goes he destroys places, and so the insurance brokers need to follow him to cover any expenses. At the time of this, watching it back over, I realized that while that makes sense in theory, because you know that would be the only way they're able to communicate or be able to track a man like this during this time. They don't have cell phones, they don't have ways to back then they didn't have cell phones back then in the first one. I don't know if the new one that they do or not, but in the first one they didn't have cell phones. They had basically alien horses that they had to go around. It was like the Wild West, so they would need someone to follow him around to be able to cover any insurance tragedies that he does cause. In this one, they're reporters. In the new one, they're reporters, and they're trying to see or get Vash's side of the story to see if he is the one actually causing these issues. I did like the new version of it better. The new version of why they're following Vash the Stampede or trying to find him better than the insurance brokers are just trying to find him. I did like that story, but the fact that they got rid of Millie and replaced her with Roberto, I did not like that. I liked the women team, the two women team looking for Vash the Stampede. Then this one, it's more so Roberto is the drunk senior superior, and like Meryl is the braceful rookie that's like just trying to like get her foot in the business. I didn't too much like that. I liked it better when they were two women trying to, you know, show what they can do in their business. That, you know, they sent the girls after to go look for Vash the Stampede and not think that they would actually be able to do it, and lo and behold, they actually do it. I miss Millie in this one. I'm hoping that they do give us back that, and you know, Roberto goes back to being a reporter trying to do do whatever the fuck else he does, trying to get another shot of Hennessy, I'm guessing. Okay, two quick things. Meryl, she's not a fighter. She's not a fighter in this one. At least the first episode I saw, she's not a bit of a fighter. Yes, she's still abrasive, and she's like, she doesn't back down. But in the OG one, Meryl was a fighter. She was in the streets shooting. She had this jacket with like rows of guns, and they each had one bullet in it. So like she would have like 13, or like I don't know the amount of guns. I'll probably put it down here, but she had like an amount of guns on her jacket that's inside, and like whenever she would just throw it up, she would just take one gun at a time and just keep shooting, and like shooting one bullet. This Meryl, she doesn't look like she has that in her. She doesn't have that gumpture, that fight in her. She'll talk you down and like will yell at you, but I don't think she's gonna be in the shooting range with you. And then the last thing is that Knives' name, or at least his real name, isn't Knives. It's N-A-I, or I guess it's Knee or Nail. I'm not entirely sure, but on this planet he's known as Million Knives. So you know, it's a nitpick. It's not oh my god, I'm gonna stop watching this show. It's just a thing I noticed that I was like, that's a little weird, I guess. But positive points now that we got all my gripes and my complaints out of it, positive points of it. I mentioned that they're not insurance brokers anymore. They're actually reporters, which would make more sense as to why they're following this man, or trying to find this man. I could definitely see a bit of Lois Lane in Meryl, with her trying to find the big scoop, or like trying to prove herself, like she's not just a rookie, like we can do this, we could find this man. So I like that. I did like her drive. The graphics looks really good, especially for being in CGI, and I had my gripes for CGI. Berserk was terrible. Some CGIs aren't all that good. While I know people will say that Dragon Ball Superhero was a good movie, it was a good movie. Some parts of it did not need to be CGI, because the CGI just wasn't working for it. I'm looking at you, Beast Gohan. I'd rather have seen him hand drawn than, you know, CGI Super Saiyan or Beast form. Not a big fan of that. Action scene, the action scene, not action scenes. The action scene was good. It was very smooth. I liked how they were able to seamlessly make everything look good, from him shooting the gun to him taking down the bad guys in this first episode. And I like the way that they do the plot in this one. I do. I feel like they are banking on the fact that you have already seen Vash the Stampede, or that you know enough of Vash the Stampede that they don't have to rebuild his character, or at least have not had the first episode be a filler episode, so to speak. Like you know who Vash is, you know who Meryl is, you know who Roberto is apparently, and then you know that why Vash is not afraid of the people that he has to run away from on the daily basis, but there is something that he is afraid of, and it is his brother. And then you also find out that Vash is not from this world, that you find out that like Vash was on the space station with his brother Knives and this mysterious girl Rim, and that Knives is the reason why they're stuck on this planet. You don't know why Knives did this, but you know that Knives is the reason why on this. So I kind of like that they kind of cut down the amount of exposition that you would have gotten in the first one in this one, because I would say that you don't know the amount of stuff that you know now in this new version of Vash the Stampede you wouldn't have gotten until the 5th or 6th episode of Vash the Stampede. I could be wrong, but I feel like it's around that time that you would know that, hey, Vash is way older than he is to be on this planet. He has a brother, and that he's really more scared of his brother than he is about risking his life day to day being worth $60 billion double dollars, which is, you know, $6 billion and then dot and then the dot 00, I'm guessing. So I did like that. Now with watching the episodes from the first one and the second one, there were a couple of things that I did notice a difference of. Mainly in the new one, there aren't that many creative guns. There is, don't get me wrong, there is Vash's gun, which his technically doesn't count because his gun is already built from the space station, so of course it's gonna look good. But then there's the police officers, which this world has police officers. It was a little weird for the Wild Wild West to have actual police, but this world's police officers they basically had regular guns, but the main boss, or I guess the head officer, he had a cluster gun under his handgun. So that was one interesting gun. But in the OG one, you have Vash's big ass gun. You have Meryl's jacket full of guns. Millie had a big ass restraint gun which would shoot out a claw to restrain people. The people that Vash was fighting in the OG one, there was this big ass guy with a mohawk and a big ass boomerang that he would throw, and it would get really, really fast and cut through cement. There was Hash, I think that was his name. I could be wrong. Or Russell. No, his name was Russell. His name was Russell, and he was also known as the Constantine rifle. So he would have two rifles together looking like the cross that Jesus was on, and that would keep switching every time he would shoot. And these were the guns in this world. The guns in this one are, if anything, regular run of the mill guns. They're not really interesting about them. They're not like eye catching to me. I did notice that. And okay, and then the goofy physics, as I like to call it, for this anime, with Vash's character, he's a goofy character. He is I'm a lot stronger than I am led to believe, or that you would assume, because I'm so goofy that the female protagonist or like run-of-the-mill person can beat me up, and I'd rather them beat me up and it look like I'm in pain, as opposed to me actually showing my actual strength and hurting these people. You get it in characters like Goku and Chi-Chi, Meliodas from the Seven Deadly Sins, Natsu from Fairy Tail, Bobobo. Those characters basically, where they are a lot stronger, but for the sense Ultimate Muscle, that was another one, but for their character set, they are the goofy characters. You can never take them serious. They're never serious until they have to be. And for this anime, when there was a scene where they did it one for one for the original one. Vash's big ass gun needs bullets. Unfortunately, this motherfucker ran out of bullets in both scenes. In both animes, he runs out of bullets, and so he's trying to shoot and he can't shoot. In the OG one, he would have a big ass face. His face would be really animated. He'd be like, "Hey, I need bullets." He's crying fountains of tears, because he's like, "Oh my god, I don't know what I'm gonna do," and you're laughing because it's serious, but like he's joking about it, so like you really can't take it. You don't take it that serious. Like, that somehow he's gonna find bullets, or if anything, he can literally dodge bullets. Like in both the OG one and the new one, he seems to be able to dodge bullets, so you're never really worried about him dying from a bullet, from an explosion, because he can literally goofily either take the attack or just move out of the way of it. So like in the OG one, you're not too much worried about it. But in this one, they have too much of realism physics. So when Vash is getting beaten up by people, he's not like, "Ooh, ah, ee, ah." He's like actually taking punches and everything. Sorry for y'all. He's actually getting his ass beat. And like when he comes back into the scene, he's bloodied and bruised, and he's like, "Ha ha." And you're like, okay, that's not as funny as him like getting cartoon physics beaten up. And like, I don't know if that's just because of it could be the animation at the time. The old school animation it's hand drawn, and so it's able to give that feel, as opposed to the CGI looks more realistic. but I just wasn't feeling it like that, especially like when he's crying. Like Vash's cry scenes are the funniest ones. Like not his not his serious cry scenes, like when he's actually sad, but like when he's being hysterical or he's in danger, though danger but he can escape, let me say that. When he's basically fighting like the run-of-the-mill bad guys, or the villain of the day bad guy, and he's like, oh my god, I don't know what I'm gonna do, oh someone come help me, and he's like crying fountains of tears. That's funny. And this one, the bad guy is about to blow up an area that Vash is under. He's looking for a bullet, can't find a bullet. He's crying tears, but they look like actual tears. They're not like hysterical, what am I gonna do tears. They're like, oh my god, we're all gonna die tears. And it wasn't as fun to watch. It kind of like broke me out of his character, because like right after that scene, when he does eventually save the day, Roberto was like, you weren't scared of them at all. So what actually scares you? It's like, okay, if you weren't scared, you sure as hell look like it up there. Like there's a difference from OG Vash's tears when he's not actually scared, and then when he is actually scared. I just wasn't feeling it. It was a little bit, it made me feel a little uncomfortable, and I just didn't too much like it. But yeah, that was basically the show and my takes on it. I will say that I am pleasantly surprised about how good it does look. It does look really good. I do believe that with a little bit of its changes, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. When I saw the trailer for it, I thought this was going to be shit, and I was not going to be happy about it. I don't think it's shit. There are some things that I have growing pains about, with it being the designs of the characters, the lack of characters that we have and that they've been replaced with. But I feel like if it's ever that bad, I can still go watch OG Vash's Stampede. It's not like it's going anywhere, so I'm okay with it. I'll be happy to see how it goes. If it's just like, damned for forever and I just don't want to watch it, I can just move on and go back to the old one. So let me know if you guys have seen this one, or if you've seen the OG one, and what do you guys think on it. I'll be happy to read that down in the comment section. I will let you guys know that when this video comes out, if it comes out before my 2 JoJo videos, or at least one of the JoJo videos, I will be taking a bit of a break, a hiatus, if you will, from this channel. Need to go outside, touch grass. That's just it. But when I do come back from my adventures from touching grass, I will still be taking a bit of a break from this channel and working on Twitch a little bit, and working on my Discord, and hopefully finishing 2 let's plays for this channel. So I have a bit of things I want to do before I come back, so please keep an eye out on the channel, in the community section, if you guys have any questions. I'll hopefully be able to keep you guys in the loop of when I do plan to come back, and just thank you guys. I do appreciate it. We're at 231 at the time of this video, and I just couldn't do it without you guys. So thank you guys. I will be back, and love you. Peace.